Welcome into the Dedicated Podcast. Spence Spicer here, joined by my co-host Jonathan Mumphrey. We've talked to people from around the 7-on-7 world, people that we've gotten to know through the DR7 circuit and the DR Sports brand over the last 3 years. And we're very excited to welcome our guest on today's show. That's Lee Davis, head coach, founder of Orlando Elite. He's got the shirt on there. You see the Orlando Elite logo. First coach that we've had on here, I think, that we've had with the team branding. So shout out to Orlando Elite, man. We're really excited to talk with you and get to know you and what kind of led you to start in the program and coaching youth football and coaching these kids. So I'll kind of let you have the floor and give us a little background about yourself and how you kind of led and decided to start Orlando Elite 7-on-7.
Okay. Hey, how y'all doing? So I went to Evans High School. I'm from the Orlando area, West Orlando area. 30 years old. I think I turned 30 about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. And I went to Evans High School.
Happy late birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, appreciate it. Yeah. It's funny. Everybody thought I was older for the longest, but they don't realize I'm pretty young compared to a lot of my peers in college.
That's all that pussy hair, man. That's all that is.
I went bald early too, so maybe that's why I look old to people. But I just turned 30 2 weeks ago. But yeah, I went to Evans High School, played football most of my life, basketball, football, and then I actually wanted to play basketball, but I wasn't good enough. Because I was typical, like a lot of people, 6'4", center, power forward. In college, they 6'10", 7 foot. So that kind of went out the window. I didn't have the point guard skills or the skill set, to, I guess, play at the next level. I never had the handles. I was just a big athletic guy who could just dunk and block shots and stuff like that. So football always came easy to me. So I did tight end and DN, played that. Went to high school, did real well, was lettered at that, played at South Florida for like a year. I left there. It was a new coach that came in. So he kind of just went a different direction. He had brought some guys in. So then I went to JUCO. I went to Fort Scott, and that was in Kansas. I went there, played junior college ball there. Messed my knee up, actually. Had a knee injury, tore my ACL, tore it twice. And then I sat up for a little bit. Then I went to Miles College in Alabama. It's a Division II school. And then I finished off there, my football journey there. Didn't finish like I wanted to. Like I said, my knees were just shot by then. So I was done. I came home. I started, like I said, just looking for work, trying to figure it out. I was coaching flag football, actually, at I-9 Sports. I was there for about 2-3 years, and I just was dominated really, really bad. I was dominated so bad there. I was beating people like 70-0. It was so bad. And they like pretty much ran me out the league, basically. The owner like ran me out. He was like, yeah, dude, you got to go. He was like, you
got a story with that.
I worked for them, actually. Yeah, it was funny. Like, I actually started there refereeing, just trying to make some extra money. I was like 21 at the time, 22, trying to make money. And I was refereeing. And then what's funny is that way I got into coaching was a guy had a team. They went like 0-2, and he just quit on the kids. Like, he stopped showing up. So my owner was like, hey, dude, can you like coach this team? Like, I really need a coach. I was like, sure. And then like I got the team, and we kind of turned it around. I think it was like a 6-game season. You know how that goes. It's like flag. We did pretty well, and then the next season came around because it's seasons. It's like winter, spring, summer, all that. So then the parents like hit the owner. I was like, hey, we want this coach. We want him again. I was like, okay. He was like, hey, yeah, I don't think you need to referee anymore. You can coach. I'll just pay you to coach. I was like, all right, sure, cool. And that's when my coaching journey kind of started. I was 22. I was doing flag football, and I started having fun with it. We was coaching. When we started winning, we started getting better. And then next thing you know, I looked up, I had like 4 teams out there, and all my teams were like just winning the championship. And then it just kept going on and on from there. And I was bringing a lot of business in, and then the ownership actually changed. So the new guy came in, and then I was already like on a roll by then, which just pretty much like people didn't even want to play against me because we were just beating people so bad. So I get it. Like I said, he was just like, yeah, man, he's just too competitive, bro. I can't, we're not meant for that. This league isn't meant for that. And I understood. It was understandable, So that was that. So then I crossed over to tackle football, and I got with the West Orlando Jaguars. I started coaching there. And then when COVID hit, I did 7-on-7 with a 7-on-7 team for 1 year. We did real well, but after that season, we wanted to do like more tournaments because we were just doing like one circuit, and we wanted to kind of just branch out and do different things. And he didn't really want to let us do that. So all my kids and parents was like, man, coach, we will whatever you want. So I was like, all right, cool. So I started Orlando Elite. That's how it came about. We didn't really know what to expect our first year. I knew I had good kids. I know I had good players. Like I said, I've always been that players coach, that guy pick up 5-6 kids. I got a green truck. I still pick up kids. Mom will tell you, I'm always picking up kids. I come to the tournament, 5-6 kids in my truck. So that's always been a situation with me. I've always been that coach, just helping kids out. And I started Orlando Elite. Our first year, we did well. Coach Weathers, he's one of my coaches. He's my 10U coach. I did 12U, and then I had Corey Austin. He did my 14U. And we did extremely well our first year. I think we won a lot of tournaments on the 10U level, won a lot on the 12U. We won a few on the 14. And then that's when we got I met Mump at that time. And like I said, we just instantly connected. And then, like I said, once we did the transition over to dedication and respect, man, it was on and popping after that. The kids loved it. They have fun. They love DR7, like I said, because, like I said, they give them great exposure. And we just love, like I said, the competition, in DR7. I just love the competition because you can meet any type of team, like I said. And then I think the funnest part is the nationals. It's so fun. We love the nationals. Like my kids always tell me, they always tell me, Coach, man, we're going to Texas. We're going to Texas. I tell them every year, I say, yeah, we're going. Yeah, we're going. So it's fun. So yeah, that's kind of, I guess that was pretty much these last 4 or 5 years, and that kind of caught me up to now. So yeah.
Well, Coach, man, I mean, I'm I almost want to interrupt you and slow you down because there's so many points in there that I didn't know about that I connect with. But kind of let's spin it back, and then we'll talk a little bit more. I got some stories on that I-9 sports, and we're so on that I did not know until tonight. So kind of let's talk about your journey. Getting to high school. The message behind our podcast is kind of what was that thing in your life that made you dedicated to do things different, to start your journey into being an athlete or wanting a better way for yourself. For me, and I just be real quick on mine, it's more of a personal thing. Around the 80s is when the crack epidemic hit my household. My mom and dad, 2-parent household. My dad was a hard worker, just kind of got caught up with the wrong people. And therefore, once some people start to have some personal things with the drugs, abuse and things happen. So I was that kid, 15-year-old kid, who went out there and started doing push-ups, lifting weights, and was the protector for my mom. So I myself dedicated myself thinking I'm protecting her, but I was also developing a skill set. My journey in football kind of took off, and that's kind of where mine started in my journey to kind of want to be different in the neighborhood that I was in, which we was in a very upscale, high end. We wasn't in poverty. We wasn't in the hood. We was in the hood, but we had the biggest house in the hood, if that makes sense.
Right. So it wasn't right. That makes sense.
We was missing meals, so but anytime you have that impact, I think that's when you have to decide in life what you're going to be dedicated. And everybody have different moments. That's just my story, my moment. I don't know if is it something, because I see you, who the 30-year-old man you are today. There's a moment that you, being young, you had to make some decisions. What was that moment?
Or did the moment was. So the moment for me was for when I dedicated myself to sports. I just go back to high school, then I speed it up to 7-on-7. High school, honestly, I played sports because my parents were very religious. Like, we grew up in the church, so we were always in the church from Sunday to Sunday. You got choir rehearsal, you got Bible study, you got tutoring. So that was kind of a way for me to get away from church. I just wanted to play sports, and I played sports, and that's kind of how I got away from it, because I was just thought I was being in church. So I just started playing sports, and I loved it, So that was kind of what that was. But far as the 7-on-7,
was you one of those kids sleep in the back of the pews?
No, actually, I wasn't. I was always active. I was singing in the choir. I was an usher. I did everything. I did the public speaking, and then like I traveled. I did all that stuff. Like I always loved it. But I just know I love sports. I love the game. I was always athletic and tall at a young age, so I just love sports.
I think that is perfect. I mean, that's the foundation. When we look back on our lives, how our characters develop. I know we talk about church, but that's a foundational piece. We was talking to Coach Weathers last night, and he was talking about how he was injured and how his grandma said, "Boy, if you want to play, you got to come to church with me." And they come from the Kojic ministry and prayed over him, and he was healed. I mean, so I think that's the foundation of a lot of our lives that begin to help us make directions, even though sometimes they overdo it in our mind by having us there 24/7.
Right.
Kind of, comment here because that kind of comes back to part of Coach Weathers' story, and I know y'all coach together there. So.
Absolutely, yeah. He's like a second father to me, man. He's been very instrumental in my life. Like I said, if it weren't for Coach Weathers, I don't even think I would be here right now. To be honest with you, he's played a very big part of my life. So yeah, I'm definitely thankful for him. I call him for anything. If I need anything, I know that's one person he's gonna be there for me. So.
So you mentioned something that kind of stood out to me. You said you were refereeing, and they needed a coach. There was a coach that quit on kids, on the team. So, what was the first game like? Like, what was the first practice like? How did you kind of adjust? Did you have to adjust to the kids? Did they have to adjust to you? How did it go? Take us through that.
They had to adjust to me. So, I think I'm like a blessing and a curse sometimes as a coach. I'm so competitive, and I'm so like I said, I demand perfection. So the main thing for the kids, I told them, I know that first week, the team, they just had no discipline. The kids I had, they didn't have no discipline. They were just out there running around. So all I did was just told them, if y'all just play hard and you guys just do what I tell you, we'll be fine. So the first game, I think we won. Yeah, I think all I did, I was just running a bunch of misdirection. That was it. Just misdirection. Keep, reverse. Because remember, the talent wasn't that like super big. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that. It was like I said, lower level talent. So it was easy. You know what I'm saying? But they just had to adjust to me and listen to me, and we did well at home. But it's funny just looking at that journey, like coming from literally I-9 to on the top of the food chain for 7-on-7 is crazy, man. To just see where we came from.
Yeah, and what's so interesting about that is I have the same exact story about it. The identicals, how we started our journey down into being. I don't think you even know this. Into where we started another flag football league called Total Athlete Sports True Youth Development. Is we was in I-9, same scenario. There wasn't any parent. Our son, we was trying to get him in. He was about 8. In the football, I wanted to jump in the tackle. Mom wanted fundamentals, and so I saw a sign. I was like, "Hey, this is not compromise." And then we went to a camp. The guy didn't know what he was doing. He was a soccer guy and had bought a franchise. And I started his camp. And the next thing I know, I'm a coach and I'm telling them how to run it and doing all that. And then we get in the league. And I just took kids. You know how they just give you a bunch of kids. And man, after about 2 seasons, they kicked us out, said we was too competitive. So
man, we got the same story then.
I literally got kicked out and said it was too competitive. And we just kind of, like you, saw that things could be done different. But those kids, all they need is somebody to put them some real structure. And that sounds like what happened to you. So it's kind of funny that we talk all the time and different things and did not know we had an I-9 connection. So.
Oh yeah. I started I-9. That's where my grassroots are at. Definitely I-9. Yep.
So you talked about Orlando Elite and starting that up. You mentioned coaching with the West Orlando Jaguars. What was it like kind of starting your own organization up? Was it difficult to get kids out? I know you had a great group of talented kids. So what was that process kind of like? Did you have a tryout? How did it kind of all come to be with the first year of Orlando Elite?
So it wasn't hard because I've already, like I said, once you're doing something good, people gonna find out who you are. So people already knew who I was. Like I said, in the city, we know who the most of the top guys are in Orlando. So I was kind of like one of the hot names, So people knew who I was. So that was pretty much, it wasn't hard. And basically, I had kids that pretty much that was already with me from West Orlando that played, kids I kind of were close with, that I kind of built relationships with. I pretty much just kind of brought them over. And then, like I said, I did do a tryout. People just came out. I didn't know what to expect. That first tryout, I posted it. I had a $25 flyer. A guy did a flyer for me. I posted it on Facebook and Instagram. Hopefully somebody come out. And then my first year, we had about 45 kids come. Yeah, 45 for the first tryout. Yeah, the 45 first tryout. And they came out and it was great. But as far as getting uniforms and stuff, it was easy. I pretty much kind of knew the game by then, and stuff like that. So it wasn't hard. But the second year, the second tryout, man, you can look on YouTube. It's on YouTube. We went from 45 kids to 125 kids our second year tryout. It was crazy. I didn't expect that many kids to come out. I was shocked. I was like, wow. So yeah,
that's amazing to see that growth. So I've looked back and I'm thinking year one, I think you guys' first tournament might have been Davenport at DR7 or one of the first. And you guys made some noise right off the bat. So I'm curious, we talked about Coach Weathers and your all's relationship and what he means to you guys. How did you guys get connected? Did you know him previously? How did you guys kind of get together? Coach Weathers.
I've known Coach Weathers my whole life. So he grew up. My parents owned their house in Orlando, and he lives right next door to them. They both own their houses. Wow. So I see Coach Weathers when I go to my parents' house to go get something to eat. I see Coach Weathers. So I've known him since I was pretty much 5 years old, basically, and I'm 30 now. Yeah. Wow. He taught me everything. Like he taught me how to lift. He taught me how to train. He taught me just everything. He taught me the game. I to this day I'm always at his house. Hey, what do you think I could do on this? Different stuff, offensive schemes, defensive schemes. He's taught me pretty much everything about football, as far as coaching wise. And I kind of, like I said, I don't try to duplicate what he do. I just do what he taught me. I have my own style, how I do things, and kind of go from there. But he pretty much taught me everything I know when it comes down to football. So.
Yeah, I mean that I can see that he was talking about his playbook last night, and yeah, as I learned more about his journey, it's just a very unique journey. You have to respect. I remember matter of fact, my first time meeting Coach Weathers was at the first Davenport tournament we did, Kickoff Florida. When I forget the quarterback name, I see the kid, love the kid today, but I forget his name right now. The 10-year-old kid, and he was on it. Huh?
Yeah. I think it was Gavin.
Yeah, Gavin was fine, but I think Coach Weathers was able to. He was still tough and still fighting through that. That was y'all won that event that day, so it was to see that coach, and I see how you guys gel and those different things. So, kind of tell us a little bit about that journey. Now that you starting to get that energy where you're one of the top brands in not just Florida, one of the top brands nationally. And I know that some struggles come with that, as in, people trying to come at you. Kind of give us a little bit of that insight on now that you got the target on your back, now what does that feel? Nobody didn't know you for a couple years, but now that they know you.
Man, it's a blessing and a curse, man. Because like I said, you have people that come from. I have people to this day. Like I have to have a meeting next month about my organization and stuff like that. You just never know what people. Everybody got their ulterior motives, So it's kind of tough sometimes. You just don't know who to trust. That's why Coach Weathers is like one of the only people I trust, because I've had different big name programs literally like call me and say, "Hey, we want you to come up under our brand," but they want me to get my name up. You want my kids, you want me, you want my coaching, but you don't want my brand. You know what I'm saying? You just want to pretty much buy us. And I tell them, we're not for sale. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we started, at a park. You know what I'm saying? We started at a park. So, and I'm glad I had conversations with you in the past about it. Like I said, you consult me on different things about it. I've built a brand. So I got to stick by what I know. You know what I'm saying? I can't just put myself for sale. At the end of the day, it's a brand. Like you said, I know you always told me, wear your brand. I wear my brand with me everywhere I go. I got about 7, 8 shirts. I'm always wearing my brand, but I've had people try to buy me, several big organizations, plenty of times. And like I said, it's been hard in the past. Our first year, we did pretty well financially. The second year, it was a struggle because the more kids you get, the more funds basically, and it gets more expensive. We don't think about that. Everybody just see us when you go out there. Oh, they got the jerseys on. They this, that. Man, that costs money. And then to be honest with you, when you have top talent kids such as mine, I pretty much have all the top kids in Orlando. That's just the name of the game. A lot of kids just don't pay. That's just what it is. Top. When you got a program that's right across the street and they got unlimited resources, they could just pay the kids. So it just comes down to, and it taught me a lot about myself and my character and just different things. It's molded me. I've had several kids, like I said, leave my program to go to other programs, but they always end up coming back because we built our program on integrity. You know what I'm saying? I will never, and you can take this to the bank, I will never be that coach who just pick up random kids, 7, 8, 9, 10 kids a weekend and say, just throw them a jersey. I've just never been that. Like, if you notice, we have names on the back of our jerseys. Most programs don't have name on the back of their jerseys because they collect their jerseys at the end of the game, at the end of the tournament. I never do that. What my parents pay for, that's what they get. I want it to be personal. I want the kids to feel special. That's why I put the names on the back of the jerseys. So that's why I give them the jumpsuits and they put their names on the back of the jumpsuits on the book bags and stuff like that, because for some of these kids, sports is all some of these kids got. Football is all some of these kids got. So that's why I make it my business to, like I said, go to Texas every year. I got kids, they've never flown. They've never even been out of Orange County in their life. They've never been out of the city of Orlando. But they can say, I know for sure when they look back, when they're 30, my age, 20 years from now, they'll be like, dang, man, Coach Lee he took us to Texas. He did this, he did that. Like, I really experienced something with Orlando Elite. You know what I'm saying? And you never know where it could lead to. Like I said, I tell all my boys, as long as you just come back and give back, because I know for sure a lot of my boys are going D1. I just tell them, just give back. That's it. That's all I ask them. Give back. Just give back to the brand because the brand was good to you. But I have to tell my parents as well. Like I said, I'm going to tell them this year, we're going to give you the exposure. We're going to put you on the platform. We're going to do all these different things. Nothing is free. At the end of the day, you got to put some skin in the game. And that's just what it comes down to, because everybody wants, exposure. But at the end of the day, exposure costs us. It's not free. At the end of the day, these tournaments aren't free. And I'm never going to ask anybody to give me anything for free because I want them to learn. You got to earn everything in life, and I tell all my boys that. So, yeah.
You're starting to see some of your hard work come to fruition, Coach. Everything pay off that you've built over these last 5 or 6 years, because you've got your first class of kids who you kind of built up from the youth ranks, now headed on to high school. I know we were talking about you're going to have to come up with a schedule, plan things out here this fall, but that's got to be special for you getting to see those players now, taking what they've taught you, taking what they've learned from other things and all those lessons to Friday nights where they're going to be starring. I think you've got 4 or 5 freshmen that are going to be playing varsity ball on Friday night. So what does that kind of mean to you to see that all that hard work pay off for them?
Man, it feels great. Like I said, I always tell people I think I'm like the biggest kept secret in Orlando. That's what people say. They call me that because, like I said, I'm that coach. I train. I'm a trainer too. I train as well. So I literally personally developed a lot of these kids over time. So I've watched the growth over the years. I've watched, what I'm saying, I know one of the kids is always with me right now. When I first met him, he had 2 left feet. He was tripping over a ladder, and now he's about to go start on varsity as a freshman. Playing receiver, and DB, playing both ways. And he's going to be playing against top teams in the country. He'll be playing against Osceola High School. They're a top school in Florida. They got a 4-star running back that's going to UCO. They'll be going against St. Thomas Aquinas in down south. Everybody knows St. Thomas. They're nationally ranked every year, top 10 in the country. And he'll be stepping on the field against these guys. So that's just, like I said, a testament, to all the hard work they put in. I've been telling these kids this for years. I'm like, if you just stick with me, we'll get you where you need to get to. And like I said, I had several of them that kind of dabbled a little bit, went play with different programs today, and they always came back. Now this year coming up, my whole crew will be all freshmen. Traditionally, the freshmen usually play 15U. Last year we played 15U as all 8th graders, but this year we'll be off 9th graders. But we were just saying, we were talking about it the other day in the group chat. It was like, yeah, it's looking like we're going to have to do 18U because we don't ever want to go backwards. You know what I'm saying? We don't ever want to go backwards. We tell the kids that, like, I know they want to play with their age group, but I just told them, like, guys, y'all playing varsity football. It's no point going backwards. Play 15U. I was like, we just got to play 18U. So we'll definitely, like I said, play 18U this year. And we'll go get some older guys, because we definitely know what spots we need to fill to be competitive on the 18U level. But, it definitely feels good, like I said, to see all the hard work. Definitely see the fruit of the labor for sure.
Yeah, just to jump in there, and I know we'll definitely talk about those guys. Come back to what I'm hearing from you is that, hey, it's no more. We talk about I-9. It was just fun, just having a good time. And now you're getting into this 7-on-7 world. I kind of look at things like this in my mind. Non-contact football there's two sides of it. And I know people for years saying, oh, 7-on-7 is not football, but every college, every NFL camp, they run 7-on-7 periods. So I kind of look at flag football as the rec side and 7-on-7 football as the rec side. But like an AAU, and I think where we're transitioning, I want to get your feedback on it, where we're transitioning into it's more of an AAU model where you have to travel, you have to go to venues that are going to give you exposure. That's one of the major things that we focus on is exposure to the athlete. With everything we do with the platform, now dedicated podcasts and other shows we're going to come out with, we want to help promote the kids. And parents got to understand it's no more little Johnny just get picked up by the crosstown dad that has a quarterback kid and pays for everything. It costs. And Nikes, you might have to say no to the Nikes and the nails sometimes. So where you feel that same energy being in the community that, hey, we got to start having these serious conversations about there are fees and the fees has to increase because your kid, we want to give your kids the best experience. And that experience gives them vision to be great in life.
Absolutely.
And when they come back 30 years. So that's one of the things that I'm pushing is, hey, y'all have to understand that we're a select sport now. We're not out here just running around, and you have to be elite to be in this game.
Absolutely. Like you said, piggybacking off what you said, first I was going to say people love 7-on-7. I kid you not. Every kid that I have my phone is full of messages. Coach, when 7-on-7 start? When 7-on-7 start? I'm like, dude, we still got tackle football. Like, they don't even care about tackle no more. People just love 7-on-7. Like, and I literally have people driving. I have literally next year a group of kids. They're going to drive to Orlando just to be a part of my brand because we take it so serious in 7-on-7, and they love the exposure that their kids can get. They're literally driving from Jacksonville. That's a 2-hour drive from Orlando. That's not a close drive. And I had 4 kids off my 8U team this year came from Jacksonville. They're going to drive over just because they love our model that we put out there. They love the competitiveness. They love their kids playing on a team with other highly competitive players, because on your rec team, you're not going to get that. So on my team, you're going to get all the dogs on one team. You're going to get that work in practice. You're going to get, that top-notch coaching from me. You're going to get that top-notch coaching from my D coordinator. And like I said, that's why I love, like I said, the DR7 brand, because you're going to see some smoke out there. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see some really, really good teams. But piggybacking off what you said, it's an elite sport now. I've been in the football world. I had no clue that baseball coaches get paid. I had no clue volleyball coaches got paid. I had no clue all these different sports. The coaches are getting paid. Basketball getting paid. Like, we're the only sport that don't get paid, which does not make sense to me. And we, as a sport, will generate, I'm pretty sure, the most money for the most part. Like I know I have a buddy. His daughter is in volleyball. He said he spends $5,600. $5,600. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, a lot of money. Like, and he said the coaches get paid monthly. They're pretty much on a stipend, basically. And that's what it comes down to. The parents have to understand you don't want to be with the sorry teams. You don't want to be with the bottom feeder teams, but you want to be a part of an elite product. But you got to be elite. If you got elite players, we got to be an elite parent. That's what it comes down to. Elite players, elite parents. That's what it comes down to. Because you're going to get the elite culture from us. And we know your kid's going to be elite, but now you got to be an elite parent at the end of the day, So
yeah, I think when all the rec centers, I mean, this is something that's a passion for me that I look at organizations that I've seen like yourself, watch you just really grow a brand and invest your time and your energy and your sacrifice. I remember us, I needed you to do something, and you had to go drop off 5 kids before you even came to meet me. And people don't know that, and that's the purpose of this whole podcast is, hey, you need to know the men behind these organizations. 99% of those, the men that are behind the organization we deal with are great character people, and they're sacrificing and they're investing their own dollars in your kid's future. That's not fair to me. That's why I've always, wherever I can service and help, I'm always helping. But we got to get people to start to understand that football is the sport that moves all sports when you look at it on all levels. That's where the most money come in. Why in our sports we think it should all be free? In our little league sports, everything should be free, and you shouldn't invest in that kid to get to that NIL deal. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm glad to know that you guys are starting to see, and the community is starting to see. Hey, if y'all want to be elite, y'all want to travel, you're gonna have to invest in your kid's future. I mean, I got these volleyball. They pay 12-year-olds are paying $6,500 a year, girls, for volleyball to be in the program. $6,500 for that season, right? You have to pay that up front before you even go. All the tournaments for up front, and you can't even be a part of it. So, I'm not saying we're trying to go to that level, but we want people to understand that the game has changed. Just like the high school to college with the NIL stuff, that has changed the game. These kids got to come ready. When they come, they identify these kids now in the 8th grade. If you ain't been identified by your junior year, you're not getting a Power 5, Power 4, Power 5 offer. You're not. So we have to develop much earlier. And then when they hit these college campuses, if they ain't ready to play by their sophomore year, they're telling them they can pack their bags and go. And I'm hearing that from coaches, college coaches. I'm not telling you Mumphrey's opinion. So we and that's why I love what we're doing, is because we're the grassroots foundation for these brands, for these kids to be elite, what they need to do. I'm thinking about your kids already. I'm gonna be telling Ben, hey, you need to be calling Coach Lee, because we need to start writing articles about these kids, so these college coaches that are following us and our network can start to see these kids. We drop all kinds of top 10 DBs in Florida, top 10 DBs in Texas. We need those kids so we can help promote them, because it's all part of the system. I didn't mean to get on the tangent. That's my passion, because I understand where we're going as a future. So, absolutely.
Nah, most definitely, bro. Nah, you definitely hit it on the head. Like I said, these parents just got to be elite, man. Because, like I said, and we get it. Everybody's not. Yeah, but certain kids, we get it. They ain't gonna pay, and they elite. That's just that's the name of the business. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that. But I think now going into this year, I think I've built a brand. And I know me and Coach Weathers coaching is so good, and my other coaches that I'm going to bring on, to where now I understand my value, and I may do lose to people. It is what it is. But like I said, they got to respect the product, because like I said, we put so much into this, and like I said, we got to be able to sustain ourselves at the end of the day. We got to be able to sustain ourselves and put ourselves in a good position, because I want to be able to help my coaches out and do different things for them. Even if they are, like I said, Coach Weathers, he don't need no money. He's good. But it's just the appreciation, because sometimes I think parents they get ungrateful. There's going to be a front to they do. They get ungrateful. And sometimes you just want to show that appreciation. That's all. So.
If you guys keep growing at this rate, Coach, you might have to have an all-day tryout coming up in 2025. You guys have been growing rapidly, man.
Yeah, man. It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. I got a lot of people. I got a lot of fillers, people that's been – you have to be careful the people you bring in, too, as well, because everybody don't have good intentions. Like I said, everybody don't have good intentions. And some people, like I said, they just want to showcase their child, and that's not what we're about. We're about showcasing everybody's child, so I'm very particular about the people that I pick, coaching my brand, so That's why you always see I coach at multiple levels. I'm always coaching at least 2 levels. I don't, because you just got to be real particular, because your coach can make a break. They can make a break your brand, So, yeah.
Well, I wanted to say what I admire about your all's program. I mean, you guys have won multiple championships now. We've seen you guys winning tournament after tournament on the DR7 circuit. But one thing that stood out to me, I'm going to go back to February of 2023, and I'm sure there's been other moments like this, but you guys posted on your Facebook with Mechanic Pete, and you got, it looks like the 12U team, maybe the 14U team there, learning how to change a tire. So, I mean, not only are you teaching them routes and coverages and things like that, but you're genuinely teaching these kids life lessons. I'm sure there's been other opportunities like that, but tell us a little bit about Mechanic Pete and, just doing things like that for the kids.
Man, that's the life skills part of it that I put into my program. So I tell them straight up, I said, we do life skills every win. No, I'm sorry. 2 Wednesdays a month. So 2 out of 4 Wednesdays, you need to be at life skills. It's 2 hours. We get food. If I bring in anybody, you might not know who I'm bringing in. I brought in lawyers. I brought in Coach Weathers. I brought in Mechanic P. I brought in a stockbroker before. I brought in mental health counselors, and we really have deep conversation because these kids need it. Mental health is very important, and these kids need it. And I've learned a lot of things about these kids, the things that they go through at home. Like we just see them out there just scoring touchdowns, but a lot of these kids have a lot of stuff going on. So we just try to teach them life skills. Like I said, like I know Pete's my mechanic. He's my personal mechanic. And he came, I said, hey, Pete, can you come show the boys how to change a tire? He came, he showed the whole program, all the boys how to change a tire. He taught them, he brought the jack out, and he jacked it up. They jacked my truck up. They took off the tires. He showed them everything. It was funny. One time, one of the moms called me and she said, Coach Lee, I really appreciate you. I said, what happened? He said, yeah, we got stuck on I-4 and my son, he changed our tire. I said, you joking? She was like, I'm dead serious. She was like, he learned that from you. And that's pretty much, what happened. But we try to teach the life skills. Cause like I said, at the end of the day, when football is going to be over one day in life, and they have to understand that. And I tell all the boys that some of y'all will make it to the high school level. Some of y'all might not make it to high school level. Some of y'all going to play collegiate, and some of y'all might just play on Sunday and play pros. But what did you get from it? At the end of the day, my coach told me in college, he always told me, he said, don't let football use you. You got to use football. So that always stuck on me when he told me that, use football. Don't let it use you. So I'm going to use football. I'm going to learn a different thing. So I always told them, we're going to teach you life skills. You know what I'm saying? We do public speaking. We teach them, like I said, how to change a tire. We bring in different people. So when they get out, they'll be well-rounded, and like, for example, I know several kids that I've been with, a lot of them couldn't speak that well when I first met them, but they've been with us for 3 years now. We do the life skills enrichment, and 2 of them are going to very highly prestigious private schools, and I'm confident that they're going to do well because they know how to speak. Because you got to be able to adapt to different environments. You know what I'm saying? We get it. A lot of these kids come from the urban community, and they don't, like I said, they haven't been taught. A lot of these kids don't have 2-parent homes. A lot of these kids come from 1-parent homes, and they just haven't been taught. So that's where we come in at, and I think that's the value that I bring to a lot of these athletes that we have, these student athletes that we have, because we teach them life skills. I'm pretty sure I might be the only program in Orlando that does that. What we do, so some people like it, some people don't. It just all depends on what you're trying to do in these children's lives. Some people, they just care about winning. Some people just care about Instagram and clicks. We're more the clicks. Like I said, I really care about their life and their well-being. These guys, like I tell them all the time, when you guys get older, I want to go to your college graduation. So I want to be that coach. What I'm saying? When you're doing well in life, you could, we can always talk. What I'm saying? I'm not just a coach for a season. I'm a coach for life. And that's what I tell them. So just the life skills and enrichment part. We just out here trying to change lives. That's all we're trying to do, because I'm just trying to give them something that I know we didn't have growing up, because like I said, people don't understand a coach is very important. Like they play a big factor in your life, especially a lot of these kids in the urban community who come from 1-parent homes. They don't, when your mama working 2 jobs and she working, 16 hours, and she come home, she be tired. She go to sleep. So you're not getting that, a lot of these kids are raising themselves. People don't know that a lot of these kids are raising themselves. So they're not getting that, that upbringing that they really need. So we fill that void for them. And that's kind of what my purpose is, So, and for the record, a lot of people don't know, I don't even have kids. So I don't have any children. So I just do this because I love it, So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, Coach, right there, I want to just sit there for a minute and we won't be long, but that tells me why your program is growing, why someone would sacrifice and drive 2 hours. It's because even if there is a 2-parent household, as a dad, you want someone else sometimes to be that speaker that echoes what you're teaching your child. They respect. Mm-hmm. But you're absolutely right. In a single parent household, a lot of times it's no dad around or no dad there. And so you're stepping in the gap. And that's why your program is solid. That these elite kids, and I'm glad you value yourself more and what you guys have built. Because what that does is when a kid leaves and go over to another program and they're not getting the life skills taught, they're not somebody telling you, hey man, I love you. They never heard it. And I know you tell them, hey man, I'm here for you. I love you. I know you guys. Mm-hmm. I know Coach. I know you guys, that character there. That's bigger than somebody giving them a jersey. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. After a while, once they see the comparison. So sometimes it's, and I did this in my transition with DR Sports is, hey, go over and see the other tournaments. I told you that, going over there. And, people come back because they're like, hey, it's not what DR7 does. It's not what you guys do, because for me, you guys are family, and that's how you treating your people. So I didn't know you guys did life skills, so I'm a little overexcited about it, because that's what we do. That's why I was called to do this. It's about exposure, and exposure don't mean just to colleges. It's exposure to how to become a young man and survive in life. That these guys pick up and can call you when they get older and they want to understand when they about to make a decision to marry a young lady, or they might make a decision to do something, that they feel like they have a mentor and a leader that can give them the facts and the truth that they trust. And, and you just kind of impact one of my visions, because, what's been a national brand, it's hard for us to get to the grassroots of the kids, because I've been a coach like you, coaching 3 teams and doing those things. But I wanted to be able to touch guys and help coach you guys to help the kids, because y'all are the one with them every day. So that gives me just goosebumps to hear this life skill part, because that's something that I would, if I was in your shoes, that I would do. So I just want to give you kudos for that, and I want people to understand that it's bigger than football. The dedication is bigger than football. It's bigger than just let's go over here and check ourselves and not score a touchdown. It's about, hey, let's teach these kids. I mean, I know I tell some of your kids, hey, watch that. And they'll be like, all right, Unc. And they'll keep moving, because they've seen me, and we're all back to that community raising. And whether I live in Florida or not, I feel like I can tell your kids anything. So that's exciting to hear about. So I just want to make sure, if anybody's watching this, and if you look to invest in a program, you want to look for these type of characteristics, not just programs that's out here. Oh, I'm just looking for the next sponsor. Let's go out here and get this next 5-star so I can get a check. And there's a lot of them like that out there. And you guys are being authentically building grassroots to help kids grow and be better men in life. I want to, give you and your staff and your team kudos. And this for me, and I don't care who here, that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Right. Yeah, no, I think the brand speaks for itself, because, like I said, we pretty much done took over the Orlando market. The youth market, we've been took that over these last 2-3 years, but we have pretty much in this next year, it look like we're going to take over the Orlando market as far as high school goes as well. So, like I said, no, it's great. I had one question for you though, Mom. So I remember when you did the transition over for dedication and respect. Were you nervous that first tournament that you threw? Did you think, like, you was like, I wonder how many teams I'm gonna get? I remember you told me, I knew I was there once you told me.
Yeah. Well, that journey, this is the first, right?
Yeah.
Great question. That journey was a total God walk. July, when I left, when that brand blew up with me in June of 21, I left there with $1,500, no job, with a family and a house with a career, and a bunch of guys lying on me. So it was a journey. The tournament, the Florida tournament, I knew we would get numbers. I just didn't know we was gonna hit 70. If that makes sense.
It was jumping. It was fine. It was fine. That is always the best tournament. I don't care about that. It's something about that Davenport tournament to start off, man. Yeah, it's something about. I don't know. I love Davenport. Davenport is also my best. That's my favorite tournament out of all of them because it's like you get everybody fresh. Like you getting everybody fresh. You know what I'm saying? That's like the best. I love Davenport. Yeah.
So Kickoff Florida, we think, and it's grown, man. It's grown from 70. God has just really been blessing us. But we, before that, we kind of got caught up with a pop-up tournament we didn't know. And man, it was the King Classic. Some friends of ours called us and wanted to do that. And that kind of gave us, that was more my nervous thing than Florida because I promoted Florida. We hadn't promoted the King Classic. We had about 30 teams. You thought it was 100 teams there right then. It was so electrified that event. And so that momentum carried over to Florida. And then that's when we knew, okay, we're good. We're gonna be able to do this. Because anytime you're rebuilding something for the third time, not one, that's a nervousness. Are people following you? Are you leading right? Did you take care of the people, or are their lives gonna sway? And so guys really just kept me focused on what we were trying to do. So that's a great question. I don't remember being nervous, but I definitely wasn't cocky about it and overconfident. I was just praying and believe, hey, we can get 50 teams there. We're gonna be all right. And then we had to move to the next event. So
okay, I got a question for both of y'all. I know that's what be interviewing me.
Yeah,
name me your top. Y'all be going. I know y'all be traveling like rock stars every week. Name me y'all top 3 locations from 1 to 3 where y'all like to go. It could be any state. Maybe it's because of the food. Maybe it's the people. Maybe it's just you like the venues or where you be at. Name me your top 3. You go first, Mom.
Okay. Well, and I'm home, but I love Florida. I mean, Florida's become my second home, and I'm not saying that because you're on the call. And the reason I love Florida is because my journey in Florida since 2018, man, when I first came to Florida, I mean, I was a little nervous because I didn't know how to deal with the Florida mindset at the time. But what I found out is everybody's authentic. As long as you're real and they can trust you, they gonna work with you and they gonna have your back. So I love doing events in Florida because I feel like if I'm ever on the side of the road, I got a ton of guys I can call to come and help me, and it's family. So when we did, I never forget this. We got kind of in trouble in 2023 because we only did 2 events in Florida. And I had guys, and I think you went, well, man, why y'all not back in Florida again? So I will not do less than 3 events in Florida. So that meant the world to me. It's nothing like being home in Texas. And I say that because, Texas, especially the Houston market, really, really comes out for us. Dallas is a little different. I mean, but Houston market has always been an energized event. It's just another level with the Houston market, and we're starting to see that. That's my third location that I would think about. I just got to say, I would say Georgia, but New Orleans is kind of that new energy.
I was going to say, maybe New York, maybe New Orleans.
New Orleans is the new energy. I like the atmosphere that we had in New Orleans, and I'm excited to see that grow. We're excited. I got to throw a 4th one in there. I want to see what the West Coast do. So
let me know when you go to Vegas or California. You got to just let me know. We coming because my kids want to go there so bad. They was like, Coach, can we go? I said the only way I can go, I got to know it's a good brand. I don't want to go and then the tournament is just bloof and it's not good. I'm like, if we're going to spend that much money going out there, we're going to go for a good reason. It got to be good.
Yeah, so that's what we're working on right now for 25. So I'll let you know in a month's time about the West Coast. We're going to see if they want us out there. And then Hawaii is also a place on the radar that we're talking about. So I heard
they play some good football out there in Hawaii.
No, I think for the way DR7 rules are, they probably fits best in our rules.
That's what I heard. I heard there was a team that came from Hawaii to another tournament, and they swept everybody by like 70 points. Like they were putting up 70 points in a 7-on-7 game. I don't know how that's possible, but they were like putting up 50 to 70 points, you know.
Well, that's why I tell you that most of these teams that don't really coach, can't win our tournaments, is because I did a tournament there in 2019. And Ben, I'm sorry, I'm going to shut up here in a minute. But I did a tournament there in 2019, and I got a chance to see the All Blacks. It was All Blacks. It was about 12U at that time. And man, precision football from quarterback to route running to everything. They were just some little bitty dudes. And most of that team, I would, you know, we went on vacation there this year, and I got a chance to talk to Coach Frank, who was that All Blacks team. Well, most of those guys are on low pro now. And
I was just going to ask you. Yep. Are they low pro now? Okay.
Pro, and Jonathan over there, him and I have been talking. And it's the same. They run the same routing system, in and out route. And it's just very, very well skilled. So that's why you see some of these guys with 4 or 5-star teams that are not, they're just kind of throwing the jersey out like you talked about. Those guys don't practice every day. They know their system. So so we're really glad that these guys that think they got these elite teams coming and grace the president DR7 so they can run into the buzzsaw of the Orlando Elites of the world. So
we'll definitely be good. Ben, name your top 3 locations. Give it to me.
I've got to start off with New Orleans. I love New Orleans. Just overall, just getting to experience that city. The first couple of years, I think we were in Ruston, so I was excited when we got to go to New Orleans. The food, man, I could live there. I could live there for sure. And Atlanta's definitely on there as well. Atlanta was actually the first time I ever flew on a plane. The first Atlanta tournament we had. So I think I was 25, and I was terrified of that experience, especially going to the Atlanta airport. But I got to throw Davenport in there. And one thing that Mump didn't mention was that Davenport tournament, that second tournament we had, we actually had to drive like 18 hours there. There was like a freak snowstorm that had come through Dallas. And so we were freaking out that our flights were going to get canceled. So there was like a team of 5 of us. We all crammed in the truck and drove from Dallas all the way to Davenport. I think it ended up being 18 hours. And then, of course, we had to drive back and everything. But I mean, it was rough, man. It was brutal. And that was kind of, where I think that was when just to throw the name in there for the podcast. I think that was when I realized I was dedicated to DR Sports, because that was a rough trip, man. That was a rough trip, but it was fun. And it really, I think it set the tone for what the brand's turned into. So it was cool to be a part of, but it was rough.
That truck got a lot of miles on it, Mom. You still got the same first truck, Mom, or is it a different truck?
Actually, I have a different truck, but we still have the truck. My son has a truck. It was the red truck. And the thing about the F-150, the seats they really are straight up. So the guys in the back was having rough, and I remember I had to ride my turn in the back. It was challenging. So and what we didn't know then, and this is my first time, the trailer, the brakes on the trailer was we was dragging the trailer because they had it set so high, and we did not know it. Oh man, I'm just glad. Hey, trust me, that was my first time pulling the trailer that far. So this journey has been a life lesson in a lot of things, man. We've retired the trailer and the truck, so we have upgraded that. But and now this year was the first year I've ever driven anything past a 20-foot or so. Everybody's telling me I'm going to get my CDLs, but I'm not. I don't think that's what my next move is in life. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Awesome, man. Yeah, those are my main 2 questions I have for y'all. Like I said, they be traveling a lot. I know they be all over the place. You don't ever just get tired, man, all that traveling you be doing?
No, the thing is, I mean, when you, and kind of like you in coaching, when you're passionate about something, you don't think it ain't work. It ain't work. It's a bigger picture. And, I know me and you talked one day and you was like, man, Mom, what do you do after the season? So what people don't realize, we work every day. I mean, my wife and I, Ben, like those guys have a call tomorrow. I just drove to Houston to look at a new venue. My wife, my director of operations, which is my wife, she runs the operation. And we drove down to Houston, got up at 5, drove down at 6, and went met with the coach at the high school and looked at their venue and drove back, and then tomorrow we're driving to Oklahoma to look at a change of venue. So it's a lot of different movements to make the run smooth. So we don't shut down at all. We put operations and procedures in. So it's a lot of different things, man, that happen. So we're excited. We're excited. We're possibly we're looking to bring the Crown back to Florida. So
that'd be great.
What we're looking at to do in 20, we will do in 25. I'm gonna go ahead and put that out. We'll bring the Crown back to Florida.
That'd be good.
Florida we started in Florida, so we want to kind of get back every 2-3 years. We know the travel or whatever, but we love being in Florida. So we're looking at, in Atlanta, we're looking for that growth in Atlanta with Buford High School. We would probably be locking in over there. We're waiting on the coach to just finalize that. So, that's one of the top high school state championship teams in Georgia. So it's exciting stuff, man. But as far as tired, we don't. For me, I'm chomping at the bit. I can't wait to January. I think Ben and I I'm talking to all the people, and they're like, okay, January come. And those guys are preparing the platform team, which Ben is on all the teams, are preparing they've been following kids through camp season. If you go to the platform DR, you'll see a bunch of content there on our website, platformdr.com. And so it's a lot of different articles been written. We dropping. You follow us on Twitter at Platform DR. So we don't stop working just because 7-on-7 season. So one of the things that always been the vision, I guess two things have been the vision. It's funny because we got an inside joke, but one of them is 7-on-7. We're not a 7-on-7 company, but that's what we do on the event side. And the other thing is we're building something to go global. So that's definitely what we're wanting, and that's always been a inside joke that the guys tease me at when I talk about being global. But that's kind of that. But I do have a question to see, in this transition as we see the sport changing. What is your thoughts and opinion? I value it on DR7 girls flag and having their own season, elite. Not 5-on-5. We're gonna play elite flag for 7-on-7, something that they play in high school and what they play in college. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it could work. I think it's just more so about the connections you got to have, because like I said, flag is very popular here in Florida, like very extremely popular. Women's flag football. I think it could work for sure in different markets. I don't think it will work everywhere. I'm pretty sure it'll work in Texas. It'll work in Florida, Georgia. But I just think it's just really just putting the connections with the right people and reaching out to those high school coaches and stuff like that. But I wouldn't. I don't see why not. You couldn't do it. Like I said, I think you should try it. I think you should try it in Davenport. I think Davenport will be good, and I think it can definitely work. But it's definitely gonna take some work for sure. But it can work because it's definitely popular here in Florida.
Let me clarify that they won't be at the same time as the boys. They'll have their own season.
Oh, okay.
So think about it.
I don't know. It's a little tricky. Like I said, it's a little tricky, So, because it's flag football. That's not a sport in college, is it?
Yes, it is. They get scholarship off.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. It'll work then.
So in the next 5 to 10 years, you're gonna see Power 4 and Power 5 girls 7-on-7 offers. Right now, it's two. Yeah, they get scholarship offers.
Oh, no, it'll work.
Yeah. Okay. So no, that's the whole point. We're looking for the elite girls that are tired of just killing the 5-on-5. Kind of like where you were in I-9. We want those girls that are ready, that too advanced for the I-9 models and the 5-on-5 models.
And what age groups would you do?
We'll probably start in high school. Then we want to come from 10U up. We want to build the same model.
Right. It can work for sure.
There's some dads that had some boys, but they are girl dads too. So they have some girls that are running track, softball, or doing volleyball. So
okay. That's what's up.
We'll be launching that. We're just taking a pulse, but we'll be launching that in 25. So we're super excited about it. So
Awesome.
We'll just be girls only. We won't be having the boys on one side, and we're gonna go girls only and give them they'll get the same type of treatment, article writing, the content, the marketing, the everything.
Okay, gotcha. Well, yeah. Well, like I said, man, we love DR7. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be at all the Florida events. We'll be at Nationals. You go out west, let me know. We'll definitely be there because we're looking forward to it. But like I said, we love what y'all doing. We appreciate all the exposure y'all gave our boys over the years. Especially you, Spicer, you do a great job as well. I think you're kind of one of the unsung heroes that a lot of people don't know, man. You do a great job with that media team, you and Dave and stuff like that. So we just appreciate everything, man. And we'll always, like I said, I don't care how big we get. We could be the top team in the country. We'll always be at DR7 tournaments, So.
Love to hear that, Coach, and we love to hear your story and just continuing to see the program grow and you grow over the last couple of years. So we're looking forward to what the future holds, not only with DR7 but with Orlando Elite. And again, appreciate your time, and we're looking forward to seeing you on the circuit next year. For Mumphrey, I'm Ben, and big thanks to Coach Davis for joining us here on the Dedicated Podcast. We'll see you back next time for another episode.